Om Tat Sat. My humble prostrations to the all-pervading Brahman or God, to my worshipful Guruji, Swami Jyotirmayananda Maharaj, to all the sages and saints, and to each of you divine soul watching today's satsang. So today we will be studying Sutra number 28 from the Kaivalya Pad of the Raja Yoga Sutras of Patanjali Maharaj. Commentaries by my worshipful Guruji, Swami Jyotirmayananda ji, and narrated by myself, Swami Nikhilananda. So let's get started. Sutra number 28, Kaivalya Pad. Hanam esham kleshavat uktam. Let's repeat. Hanam esham kleshavat uktam. Meaning, these impressions are also destroyed as in the case of kleshas, which have already been explained before. As you know, we are now in the Kaivalya Pad, which is the final stage, getting very close to the eventual goal of liberation. So, if you read Sutra number 10 that we had covered in the Sadhana Pad, we had talked about the kleshas and how they are reduced to the state of burnt up seeds by the practice of Kriya Yoga and yogic disciplines and stuff. That's why we do meditation, tapasya, austerities and so on. And then the chitta is allowed to be dissolved in the cause of Prakriti. So that's what we had covered. I have this very nicely organized by chapters or by playlist, so you can go to the Sadhana Pad and pull up Sutra number 10, but those who are brand new can start from the beginning and you will absorb more. But this is how I will refer to different sutras from time to time, which makes the indexing much easier for you to go back to those references. But in Sutra 10 we had covered that how the chitta is allowed to be dissolved in the cause meaning Prakriti, nature. So the same fact is explained in this sutra also in reference to the outgoing impressions. That's called the Vyuthana Samskar. So the impressions that come from within us, and then go out. These subtle impressions of the Vyuthana states of mind, which exist in a liberated sage, are also destroyed when the very chitta of the sage follows the process of involution and becomes merged in Prakriti. So sage Patanjali is guiding us that the experiences of liberation at the time of getting freed from the cycles of birth and death, the soul goes through realized souls who are called Jivan Muktas. Jivan means life and Mukta means liberated. So they are liberated while they are still walking, talking, eating, living. While the age and all the nature's impact continues, internally the sage has achieved self-realization and has freed himself from the cycles. Because the chitta follows this process of involution and becomes merged in Prakriti. In other words, the function of chitta no longer is required at that point. The sutra applies to the state of Videha Mukti or disembodied liberation. So that is the concept there for this sutra, and we will be covering sutra number 29 tomorrow. Sutra, by now you know, is a thread. So each thread basically makes a garment. If I take my kurta or shirt, it is made up of individual threads, and if you take each thread out, eventually there is nothing, no shirt. That's how these sages and saints have explained these sutras thread by thread, so we can understand how the cosmos works, how the nature works, and how our mind and senses operate, and they are all interrelated. So that is the essence of this sutra. This is Swami Nikhilananda. Om Tat Sat.